afterwards as well. Do you need anything clarifying? So welcome to this information session. Please, at any time, feel comfortable to take yourself off mute or to type in the chat and to let me know any questions you've got at all. I know that when, oh gosh, over 15 years ago, when I started my initial coach training, the acronyms, the professional bodies, it can feel a bit of a can of worms, a minefield. And so in that respect, really clarifying what this program provides, the fact it's triple accredited, the global faculty that have all gained their EMCC accredited supervisor status and our ICF MCCs. This is the type of thing that I want you to leave really clear about so that you can make an informed decision about your choice of programs. So we've done something a bit unique. We're not aware of any other school globally who provides supervision training that has this element. We've done our training in two parts, part 1 and part 2. So that makes it nice and easy. And I'm going to be showing you in detail the rationale behind that, also what's actually covered in both parts of the program. So it is accredited by EMCC as an ESQA, European Supervision Quality Award. After part 1, you get ESIA at practitioner level. And if you complete part 2 as well, you get senior practitioner as well as ESIA at senior practitioner level. So ESIA is the one that people want, European Supervision Individual Award. The way it is right now with ICF, I've been supporting ICF since January 2023 in terms of creating their supervision competency framework. And so that's in its final stages right now. And so we think, but of course, we cannot guarantee that ICF will move into credentialing supervisors, but also having programs specifically approved as supervision programs. Now, what we've done is got ours approved as CCE. So you gain 65 CCE from ICF, but as well as being a CCE program in its own right, it's also part of our level 3 program for gaining MCC. So it actually works for you in 2 different ways. As you know, with ICF, people for their credentialing renewal or gaining the different credentials, associate, professional, and master certified coach, can submit for their 40 hours continued professional development, 10 hours from supervision. And we've ensured that our level 1 covers everything that you need to be able to supervise ICF coaches, as well as ICF team coaches applying for their advanced certification in team coaching. So this program's not only one-on-one, it's group supervision, and it's also team coaching supervision. But more than that, you'll notice that some programs are coaching supervision. Of course, ours is coaching supervision, and it's also about supervising mentors. We're also tapping into supervising leaders. So quite often a leader's done their MBA, they've done deep dives in coaching around their beliefs and values, life purpose. And when they get to director and C-suite, what happens then is a professional sounding board and a place for reflective practice is required by them. And so we show you ways to do this as well. There's research on it already. And as research backs up the whole program, and during COVID, for example, we were supervising groups of head teachers, school principals together as a group to be able to restore, wash away all the complexity, resource, learn from each other about ways to make things more in flow with their own kids at home, teachers sadly off sick, and all that was going on in our world. And so that space was something over a series of 6 sessions that they said was extremely valuable. We also, of course, blend into the program what's called shadow consulting. Now, shadow consulting, it comes out of Holt Business School and also Bath Consultancy, Professor Peter Hawkins being one of the instigators of this many years ago. And it's about supervising consultants. We may observe them in their business as usual, and then again provide that space for them to really examine their content, their process, their communication, to be fit for purpose and at their best for their clients. Any questions so far? Yes, Kamal.
So, thank you for sharing all of that. So during this course, we're going to learn, if I calculated correctly, there are 3 different pieces: supervising coaches, supervising mentors, supervising consultants, supervising people in leadership positions. Actually, so that's 4. What I'm curious about here is that covered in like part 1 and part 2? And do we use the same tools and techniques? So yeah, so those are the initial questions before I ask.
I love all those questions, Kamal. So the way it works, it's a cyclic curriculum. So basically, on our team, I was an MBA lecturer, we've got teachers, we've got people who ran director level at Saudi Aramco in learning and development. So we got together and really explored what's needed for people to feel not only knowledgeable, but have the right skills and behavioral competencies to be out there supervising. And that's part 1, right from, of course, the ethics, the professional body competencies with ICFs coming out before the summer, and also real clarity on what supervision is. Now, here's the thing. For us, supervision is supervision. So what I mean by that, supervision, of course, came from the medical professional, and therapy, for example, that's regulated. My sister's an occupational therapist. These professions, you have to have supervision. People also in the education field are well versed to supervision, where you have a supervisor, for example, for your thesis. And so we really stand that supervision is supervision. The competencies are the same. However, the models, tools, and techniques can be applied to the different contexts, and there's distinct nuances in supervising in these different spaces. So we touch on them all at level 1. And then at level 2, we go round again and we take a much deeper dive. Throughout the program, it's building on experiential learning. So right from the get-go, we get you to practice with each other. And of course, then we give feedback, and together we give feedback mapped to the professional body competencies. So all of those areas are covered in 1 and 2. 1 is, call it the foundations intermediate, and then level 2 takes much deeper dives. It's interesting. We've had people on numerous occasions from other coach training schools come train with us in supervision. We've also had people that have trained with some of the business schools, and also from different backgrounds. So in that respect, we really get an eclectic group, all the way from the US, UK, all the way to the Middle East and the Far East. And we find that that adds to the richness of the program as well. And all the people that are training you are supervising. So they share their right in the moment experiences of what's been going on with their clients in their practice. Kamal, was there any part to your question that I missed? Okay. Any more questions? I will continue.
The chat is filled with questions.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. So this is our global team, and I will look at the chat and see where we're at. Lovely. Sure, if anyone wants a private chat, absolutely fine. So here's the thing. If someone isn't a certified coach, then yes, you can do this program because we have leaders in different professions, for example, education, financial sector, even from a court, who've attended this program to upskill, take a deeper dive into their own development, increase their presence, and also enable them to connect with the wider system of where the impact of their work is taking place. So absolutely, if someone's not a certified coach, then you can still attend the program. Someone else just popping in here. And then could you explain the difference between ICF, CTI? Okay, so the three main coaching bodies are ICF, the International Coach Federation, which is the biggest global one, Association for Coaching International, which started in the UK and is now global, and European Mentoring and Coaching Council, which again is global. They're the three main coaching professional bodies. There's others such as Apex as well. Now, CTI is a training school who has programs like we do, accredited by professional bodies. All of our programs are accredited by all three, ICF, EMCC, and AC, as is this program. Why did we do that? Because we love paperwork. No, I'm joking. Why did we do that? Because it means that you've got more access to people you can work with. So training with others as a supervisor and having ICF, EMCC, and AC, you've got then access to all those coaches who may wish to have you as their supervisor. We also found that different parts of the world, being such a global team, different parts of the world for requests for proposals, for example, for internal work, training leaders as coaches, as one example, or leadership development, they want different professional body credentials. So ICF, ACC, PCC, MCC, associate professional, or master certified, or they may want the EMCC practitioner, senior practitioner, master practitioner. So I think that answers a little bit there, Loy. And yeah, so the athletics side, all coaching and supervision is psychology based. So in terms of being who we are, the motivational elements, setbacks and dependencies, all of these aspects are relevant in coaching and in supervision. Coaching, we partner. Supervision, we may also lend in skill drills or fast forwards where you practice things to then go and apply them in your practice. Another thing that's used sometimes, we mentor. If it's something that comes up, for example, around ethics, then ethically as a supervisor, we need to tell the professional bodies say this, indemnity insurance providers say this, and then we are ensuring that we are being ethical in our practice. So I think that's all the questions from the chat. Do feel free to keep them coming. So this is our global team. And these are just some of the organizations that we've worked in internally: coaching, team coaching, supervising, and also providing leadership development, psychometric profiling, and supervision training. You will get these slides later. We're very, very lucky to have won numerous awards. Middle East Prism Award by ICF in 2020. I was working with Qatar Financial Centre. We've also enabled courts to get court excellence status. We have also gained, this is for the Pierre de Resistance, the Coaching Impact Award from International Coach Federation. We were over in Orlando last August to receive this. We're the only coach training school globally to receive this distinguished coach educator provider. And I've also received awards from EMCC as a team coach. We've been coaching ICF global boards as well as chapters for numerous years as well. Now, just to share briefly, when you come on our programs, right from the get-go, we send out a registration form so we, the faculty, can get to know you, get to know where you want to be, the impact that you want to create from attending the program. We have a learning management system where the recordings for each session are stored, and also you can get to know your cohort in this way as well. We put in there different samples of our supervision practice where you can see recorded sessions, as well as further reading where we say this is a nice to have and this is a must have. And so it's really clear which ones we need you to read and which ones are extras should you be someone who likes doing that. Of course, there's also in there directions to YouTube videos that we really feel are useful for the program. And then your progress, you submit all your assignments through the LMS. Of course, we explain to you how to submit them. And we use the 4 Kirkpatrick measures of learning effectiveness. We deliver in experiential ways. So we're training you to be a supervisor in person as well as online with your clients. We use things like Lego, we use Miro, even AI, and art, poetry. And just recently we added spirituality to the program as well. It also brings in numerous models, tools, and techniques, including our own supervision model that comes from extensive research. And we enable you to, from the get-go, log hours by supervising not only your peers on the program, but you can reach out to our global community of over 30,000 coaches and leaders who may also want supervision, because you need to get 120 hours to supervise ICF coaches, and it's the same for EMCC and AC for us to give you their diplomas. Just a little bit more about the learning management system there. Ongoing, we do little quizzes and other tools to enable you to lock in the learning, and also we provide self-reflective tasks between the sessions. Now, EMCC shared that they found our assessment quite progressive, and ICF, one of the reasons they awarded us the Coaching Impact Award is because we allow you to submit through videos, articles you've posted on LinkedIn, and lots of other creative ways, so that people who don't like writing and lots of references, as long as you are meeting the learning outcomes, we can ensure that we can pass you on the assignments. We've even had someone who trained with us from Lego, and he submitted as a storyboards for some of his assignments. So that was a real creative way. We also blend in things like drama, improvisation, and this type of thing means that you have a repertoire of imaginative, creative ways to enable professionals to reflect on their practice. Now, we've mapped our programme to the UK qualification framework. Not to say too much about this, however, the professional certificate part 1 is at level 6 and the full diploma is at level 7. So it's equivalent to master's level, so to the Oxford Business School, Hult, Ashridge, and also Henley Business Schools. Theirs is all at that postgraduate level as well. And so, just to reiterate, part 1, over here, 65 ICF CCE, half the diploma from AC, and half of the ESQA, because you get ESQA after level 1 only at practitioner level. To get it at senior practitioner, and by the way, if you're PCC with ICF, you automatically get senior practitioner with MCC after our programme, which is an added bonus. And at senior practitioner, that is the full ESQA and ESIA at senior practitioner level as well. So you get the EIA, the European Individual Award as senior practitioner, as well as the ESIA, European Supervision Individual Award. Any questions there with all the acronyms?
Can I ask here, you're saying if somebody's PCC, can you just elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure. So our full diploma with EMCC is a European Supervision Quality Award at senior practitioner level. If someone's PCC with ICF and you complete our part 1 and part 2, you automatically, when we let EMCC know that you've passed all the assignments, we automatically enable you to get senior practitioner with EMCC. The assignments I've talked about, and you also get supervision on your supervision as a group and also one-on-one.
Can I ask a little bit in terms of the logging? Is it similar to the log of the ICF as a coach and as a mentor, or is there a different log, and who do we submit it to, if at all?
So with all of this, as you know, people don't want third-party information because of GDPR. So it's effectively all about trust. Before we provide you with the diploma, we ask you, have you completed 120 hours? Now, what's good about these hours for for AC, ICF and EMCC, there's no stipulation as to whether it needs to be paid hours or not. However, we just ask you, you fill in a form to say yes. We don't want names, we don't want when the hours were done, and nor do the professional bodies. So it's literally your log. But once you start it, of course, carry on with it for renewing your credentials. What's fantastic about EMCC, once you get your EIA senior practitioner and your ESIA for supervision, you don't need to renew for 5 years. So that means that you've got 5 years. They ask for a number of hours of professional development during those 5 years and supervision on supervision or supervision on your actual work. Okay? Any other questions? Cool. So now the content is thorough, and I will make sure you get these slides because there's quite a lot, warning on the next few slides, so you can read them in your own time after the session. So the level 6, which is part 1, provides you with all of this. You'll get the slides later. All of this, and then you've completed part 1. Okay, and you can see there's group, there's team, different models, and so forth. Okay, and then for the full diploma, the part 2, it's all of this. This is just the contents page from our booklets. All of this and all of this. So what's also important here, just to go back, if someone's had some supervision training already, as I said, we have numerous people who've trained with other schools as well, and then they want to come to our program because it is different, because it is so creative in terms of the approaches and the systemic focus, and that it's not just coaching supervision. If you've got some so far, then case by case, you have a chat, you send across what you've got, and then you may be eligible to start at part 2 and just do the diploma, because we can accept accredited prior learning from your previous study. Okay? Now, really important, as I said at the start, it's a CCE program in its own right. So when you've completed part 1, you get a CCE. If you only do part 2 because you've had some training so far, we give you the CCEs for that. But it is part of our ICF level 3 or MCC. So a number of people have said they love our MCC preparation program, the level 3, because they not only train in supervision, they become a certified mentor coach. And then the other elements are 8 MCCs, all provide a masterclass. You've got the group and one-on-one mentor coaching. You get actual supervision, and of course, MCC recordings. And so if you see the price of our level 3 on the website, and you complete the professional certificate in supervision, the part 1, obviously we take away that price from the level 3 program. What's great is you've got the CCE program, and you can add the professional certificate to your bio and to your profiles and your CV as you're working towards the other elements of level 3. Any questions there?
So, I apologize if I asked too many questions, but
There is never too many questions, ever.
so because there's a part 1 and part 2, will the mentor coaching certification be part of part 2 or part 1?
So this page is the content of our level 3 program, ICF level 3, for gaining MCC. The bit on this page that's relevant to the supervision program is line 2, the professional certificate in supervision, or you can replace it with part 2, the diploma, and that is part of our level 3. Okay, if you do the mentor coaching certification, you become a certified mentor coach, and that is part of the level 3, but it's not connected to the supervision programs, the professional certificate and diploma. Now, just to share, the reason we had all these elements in our ICF level 3 program was because we got together as a team globally of MCCs, and we thought, what was it that enabled us to get to MCC? I've renewed mine 3 times now, as of some of the other faculty. In fact, one's renewed it 4 times, but also to feel that we're MCCs. And this is what we came up with. You'll see it's very different than the other level 3 programs out there. Okay, and of course you get this extra thing because you become a supervisor as well. But we felt that us training in supervision was something that really helped us to feel grounded in that MCC space. Gabby.
Thank you. Hi, Claire, and everyone. I just want to check that you can do all of this at level 3, or do you have to go through different levels? I'm just starting supervision now, and it's going to take the whole year, and I'm happy with having that. But I just want to know, when I finish there, do I then get to level 2 before level 3?
So with supervision for EMCC, there's practitioner and senior practitioner. For
Okay.
ICF, there is 0 levels in supervision because they only approve supervision training at CCE, continued coach education hours, not at levels right now.
Oh, okay.
That
Thank
helps.
you. Yeah, that helps a lot. Thanks.
Fantastic. Yeah, and thank you also for bringing up the time scale. So part 1 is around 3 months and part 2 is around 3 months. We've had people who are hardcore, and because it's cyclical, you can actually do both parts together. We've made sure they're not on the same days of the week for that. We do some in the UK mornings and some in the UK evenings. So we get those in the evenings from the US and Canada, and the other side of the world in the other sessions. So we're really trying to work to ensure we continue with global cohorts, but also that we're supporting the different time zones people are in. With all of this, you become a member of our CoachMe community cafes. So just to share, there's a little bit more about the level 3 there. And with level 3, those elements you can do in any order at any time. We just suggest do your 3 one-on-one mentor coaching hours at the very end, because we help you to decide which ones to send to ICF. Any order, you can do them one at a time, or you can do them simultaneously. And there's a link there to, if you need any of the links, just let us know, we'll send them across. And that's a link to the level 3 brochure. ICF did comment that really clear learning outcomes are work around equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging. And the fact that we've got our model, our supervision and coaching model in over 50 languages, as well as our quality assurance, was why we won the Coaching Impact Award. One of our clients who's now going to MCC, he started with us at ACC, he's done the supervision program, he's done the mentor coaching program, and now he's completing his level 3. And another one there from a teacher who's in the UK. And a few years back, with 40 professionals from around the globe, we created the Creative Reflective Practice book. And it's got a foreword by Professor Peter Hawkins, Eric DeHaan's written in it. We've got commendations from Jonathan Passmore, Nancy Klein's written in it, even Barry Oshry, who's the expert in organizational dynamics and systems thinking. He actually, I emailed him and he said, Claire, I'm 92, I've hung up my coat, I'm done. And then beautiful, the next morning I woke up and I checked my emails and he said, I couldn't resist. What a fabulous topic for a book. And he sent us a piece to add in there. So that was beautiful. And we've also got numerous leaders in the field who've contributed. These are just some of the models, tools, and techniques that we use, along with image cards for metaphors and many other approaches. And we have a little video here for you from one of our students. Ooh. Maybe it's not playing. We'll leave the video. Some of the in-person work, we've got UK there, we've got Jordan, we've got Ramallah, we've got Canada, and that's the community cafe, over 32, nearer to 33,000 now. And we have different people either presenting every month, providing a demonstration or an interactive workshop. And each time you'll meet new people and you can connect to also get up your coaching and supervision hours. Loads of the sessions are recorded and on our LinkedIn channel. And some of them, obviously, if it's demonstrations, there's times when people prefer it not to be shared. So obviously we honour that. And thank you. Any more questions? I'll just see if there's any in the chat. Yes.
This is Susan, Dr. Claire.
Yes.
In terms of workload, I mean, per week, how many hours do you think one can assign or should assign?
I'm laughing. You know, when you get that answer, how long's a Peter string, and you go, no, don't say that. So basically, I'd say the minimum is 1 hour a week of your time. And of course, you need to build up your 120 hours. However, some people treat it as a thesis, and they also blend into this for their final piece, which can be a 3,000-word essay, or it can be, you know, like a 30-minute video, or little videos. It really depends how much you want to get out of it. And then we also encourage and we support you setting up together with your cohort so you can practice, and that's out the sessions. And if you do that, of course, it, you know, adds up to your 120 hours.
Thanks.
Loy, yes, we'll send the presentation via email. Absolutely, no problem. How many coaching hours do you require for the elementary supervision course, and how many levels are we've entered that in? Yes. Anything else?
So can I have, I'm not sure if this is a relevant piece for what you're sharing today, but I'm curious because like you're talking about the equivalency of the PCC and the MCC and the different levels depending on the different coaching accreditation, I'm guessing, bodies, or am I misunderstanding somewhere there?
Yeah, I'll draw it.
Thank you.
And sometimes, you know, because I've shared this so many times, I may go a little bit fast on these things. So if it's like, oh gosh, that was clear and now it's gone, just honestly email back and we can clarify again. So first of all, forgive this, I haven't got my pen with me. ICF, they have ACC, which is Associate Certified Coach, and you need 100 hours of actual coaching practice. PCC, which is Professional Certified with 500 hours of practice, and MCC, which is 2,500 hours of actual practice. Okay, the practice can be one-on-one, groups, or teams. They do not right now provide any credential to become certified with them in supervision. It's a watch this space. Okay, so that's ICF. ESCC, what they have is foundation, practitioner, senior practitioner, and master practitioner. So I'm a bit greedy because I'm not only MCC with ICF, I'm master practitioner in coaching and mentoring and team coaching with EMCC. Okay. These are coaching and mentoring accreditations. They say the word accreditation as opposed to certification, which is the word that ICF use. Now, the other thing with EMCC, as well as the ones for coaching and mentoring, they have, these are called EIA, European Individual Award, okay? And that European Individual Award is what individuals get, okay? Whereas the programs are a different acronym, what the schools get for people to be able to pass the programs. My goodness, I do apologize. We all have other parts of our life, don't we? So EMCC, the European Individual Award, is foundation, practitioner, senior practitioner, and master practitioner. But they also have the ESIA, European Supervision Individual Award. It's got the S in, as you can see. And that is actually practitioner and senior practitioner. So this is our part 1. And this is if you do 1 and 2. Because it gives you the right number of hours, but also more importantly, it's not just about hours, it's the depth that's covered and the complexity of the cases, of the case studies that we share in relation to supervision. Now, Association for Coaching also have a table like this. Very happy to share theirs from their website as well. And I can give links to these different levels a little bit clearer if anyone does need it. I'm going to make sure, well, I'll do a screenshot of that. And I'm going to put my personal email in the chat in case you wish to email me direct. There we go. Any other questions?
I would say, how much time do you have?
How much time do I have for questions? Oh, I've got an hour and a half.
No, thank you for clarifying those pieces. What caught my attention when you first said triple, what was it?
Triple accredited.
Triple accredited. So you're talking about it's EMCC and ICF.
And it's the Association for Coaching International. So
So
you get a diploma from them as well, and that's all included in the one price.
okay. And that's where I was actually curious, because the ICF, of course, they have their CKAs and they have their own accreditation path. Do those other schools have similar elements, or it's mostly just showing that I've done the work and it's kind of automated when I get into this, like I kind of get into the system. So that's.
So Kamal, many years back when I trained in supervision with Henley Business School, it was about 7, 8 years ago. And what we had to do to be able to get the ESQA, the European Supervision, ESIA, European Supervision Individual Award, and we had to fill in a 30-page form and show reflections against all the competencies and evidence. Now, a couple of years back, there's not actually that many schools provide supervision training. And so a few of us got together, spoke to EMCC to say, what we're covering in terms of the assessment is so resonant with what you're then asking them to do on this very long form. What way can it be streamlined? And so what happens now is, here I go back to my scribbles. Happens now is basically you do the assignments, you have super on super, you get our certificate, you fill in one form that's only literally name, email, and so forth, and we fill in a form for EMCC to say that you've passed all the requirements, and that's it.
Okay.
And there's no big, long processes. You don't even have to have a Viva. Sometimes people do supervision in a way that means they're not attending an ESQA program, European Supervision Quality Award program. I'm saying Eurovision then. What they have to do, if the course isn't passed by EMCC, they have to do this very long-winded and that 30-page form portfolio route. And they have a Viva online that's at least an hour to check that, you know, they are at the right level. You avoid that completely because we did the hard work getting the course passed by EMCC, and you've just got a little name, email, and address type form.
Mm-hmm.
And there isn't any coach knowledge assessment where you go online and you do the 150 questions. EMCC and AC don't do that.
So, yeah, so the only reason I'm asking is I do have my PCC. I'm loving all the concepts for the level 3 for ICF, but I'm like, I feel that there's more, and like from what you're sharing, technically there is more. And that's why I'm like, okay, the concept of being a mentor coach certification and having a supervision coach certification, like those things are my next steps. So if I can combine them within this course, it sounds good, but I'm not sure. Do I combine them? That means I'm taking level 1 and level 2 with you guys, or is it only level 2 based on all of what you just shared?
So in supervision, or to get the full diploma and ESIA as senior practitioner, so you can then get EMCC senior practitioner if you want it, you have to do part 1 of the diploma and part 2.
Okay.
And then you're actually, ta-da, you've done 20% of level 3 because you've completed the supervision element of level 3.
Okay. So that's what I was curious about. It's like, okay, do I need to take part 1 and part 2, or can I just take part 2? But if part 1 and part 2 are required, I'm happy to do that. It's how to manage my time in the best way possible.
Yeah, sure.
So I appreciate your patience with me.
No problem at all. I've been there when I was looking. So the other thing to remember, some people have done both together, part 1 and part 2 of supervision. Some people have done part 1. Oh, there's some people coming. I think they've got the wrong time. Some people have done part 1 and then they had a little space and then done part 2. So they're, you know, really locking in the learning, getting it in the bones before part 2. Other people do part 1 straight on to part 2. So what it means as well is there's always people that continue straight on, and in the diploma part there's always other people with you there who you might not have met on the professional certificate level, which is nice.
That's beautiful. And then is the course, so I'm assuming it's an online course. Is it 3 hours, 4 hours?
Okay, so give me 1 sec. We'll close this. So I left the website page up just so I can make this as clear as possible. And here we are. So what we've got here is, this is the diploma page. So on the diploma page, we cover the dates for the professional certificate, part 1 and part 2, because that's what makes up the diploma, unless there's accredited prior learning. On the professional certificate page, you only have the dates for the professional certificate. I hope that's clear.
Yes.
And so just scrolling down here, we have all the dates. We've got the SUPERvision brochure there, which gives you all the details of part 1 and 2. And then January's just coming to a close. March has just started. We leave them on until the programs have closed. So this, the top 4 are the professional certificate, the bottom ones are the diploma, okay? So in April, we've got a professional certificate that is 9 a.m. UK, 9:30 a.m. UK, and we've got an evening one in Italian because we deliver in Arabic and Farsi and Italian and German and French and English. So for the April one, for example, for the professional certificate, if you click there, you'll get the exact dates and times. Most sessions are 2 hours. Now and again, the sessions are 3 hours. And the reason is, for example, the first one, we get to know each other and then we dive into the learning. So it takes a bit longer. And there's another session where we're looking at a certain model, and that needs 3 hours to go completely through the model instead of it being disjointed. But the majority are 2 hours. So the April the 8th goes all the way to the 1st of July.
Sounds good. Absolutely.
And then there's other dates for the professional certificate as well. They're on the professional certificate page because they go all the way to 2025 as well. And then for the diploma, there's a April start for that as well. So some people are doubling up. And then there's also a September start for the diploma.
Okay. So
Which
the
leads in
diploma with the
nicely.
certification together is $3,200 US.
So I will send anything to do with payment is Simon at the office. I believe the actual for part 1 and 2, it's 4495. Okay. If people just do part 2, which is unusual, but it's because they've already done the foundation stage, then it's 3200. The reason part 2 is slightly more than the professional certificate is it's slightly more dates because of the hours, and it also provides one-on-one supervision on supervision. So part 1 and part 2 is actually 4495.
All right. Thank you. There's a lot to
Just
absorb.
there is.
So.
Anybody else? Any questions? Or have you got more, Kamal?
I'm sorting. I think I need to go and kind of see. So the diploma, it's level 1, level 2. The certification, it's either level 1 or level 2, correct?
It is. However, if you've not done prior training in supervision, then the professional certificate would be level 1.
Okay. So if I've never done supervision trainings, level 1 would be where I start.
That's
correct?
correct.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like I said, I'm trying to assess it and see it in the best way possible. And yeah, it sounds doable. It's just a matter of how to do it. All right. I appreciate you. I don't have any questions until at this moment in time, but I do have your email if I do have more.
Very happy to jump online anytime. Okay, so thank you so much for attending. I hope it's been useful. Do keep in touch, attend our community cafes, you're very welcome. And if you've got any other questions, just reach out. Have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be in the world.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.